Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapatakalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinapanto Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanepyo Vaishnavepyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyvari Pashatta Reshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaitat Kadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Haribo. Okay, so today we continue. This is chapter 3 or 4, and the topic is concordant religion. Haribo. Pushta Krishna. Question number 3. It is said that the greatest strength of Hinduism is its Catholicity or breadth of outlook, but that this is also its greatest weakness, in that there are very few common prescribed religious observances which are obligatory for all, as in other religions. Is it necessary and possible to outline certain basic minimum observances for all Hindus? Srila Prabhupada. So far as the Vedic religion is concerned, it is not simply for the so-called Hindus. That is to be understood. This is Sanatana Dharma, the eternal and universal nature and duty of every living being. It is for all living entities, all living beings. This is why it is called Sanatana Dharma. That I have already explained. The living entity is Sanatana, or eternal. God is Sanatana, and there is Sanatana Dhamma, the Lord's eternal abode, as Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita 8:20. Parastasmat tu bhavo nyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha. Yet there is another unmanifest nature, which is eternal. And in the 11th chapter, Krishna himself is described as Sanatanaha. Do you remember? He is described as Sanatanaha, the supreme eternal. So actually, the Vedic system is called Sanatana Dharma, not Hindu Dharma. This is a wrong conception. The Sanatana Dharma is meant for all living entities, not just the so-called Hindus. The very term Hindu is a misconception. The Muslims refer to the Indian people who lived on the other side of the river Sindh as Sindhus, actually due to their peculiarities of pronunciation as Hindus. In any case, the Muslims called Indian Hindustan, which means the land of the other side of the river Sindh, or Hind. Otherwise, Hindustan has no Vedic reference. So this Hindu Dharma has no Vedic reference. The real Vedic Dharma is Sanatana Dharma, or Varnashrama Dharma. First of all, one has to understand this. Now that Sanatana Dharma, or Vedic Dharma, is being disobeyed, distorted, and misrepresented, it has come to be misunderstood as Hinduism. That is fake understanding. That is not real understanding. We have to study Sanatana Dharma, Varnashrama Dharma, then we'll understand what the Vedic religion is. Every living entity is eternal, Sanatana. God is also eternal, and we can live with God in his Sanatana Dhamma, his eternal abode. This reciprocation is called Sanatana Dharma, the eternal nature and duty of the living being. So Vedic religion means the Sanatana Dharma, not Hindu Dharma. Read the verse from Bhagavad Gita that describes Krishna as Sanatana. Radha Vallabha says, Tvamaksharam paramam veritavyam tvamasya vishvasya param nidanam tvamavyayah sasvata dharmagupta sanatanastvam purusho mato me. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of this universe. You are inexhaustible, and you are the supreme eternal. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. Bhagavad Gita 11:18. Prabhupada, this understanding is wanted. Krishna is eternal, we are eternal, and the place where we will live with him and exchange our feelings, that is eternal. And the system which teaches this eternal system of reciprocation, that is called Sanatana Dharma, the eternal religion. It is meant for everyone. Pushta Krishna. How can people follow Sanatana Dharma on a practical daily basis? Prabhupada. How are we doing it? It is not practical. Krishna requests, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namashkuru. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your obeisances to me. Where is the impracticality? Where is the difficulty? And Krishna promises, Mam evaisya asamshaya. If you do this, you'll come to me. Without any doubt, you'll come to me. Why don't you do that? Later, Krishna requests, Sarva dharman parityagya mamekam sharanam raja. Bhagavad Gita 1866. Give up all varieties of concocted religion and simply surrender to me. This is practical religion. Just surrender to Krishna and think, I'm a devotee of Krishna, a servant of Krishna. Take this simple approach. Then everything will be immediately done. Real dharma, real religion, means dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.19. What God says, that is dharma. Now God says, give up all this concocted dharma and just surrender unto me. So take that dharma. Why don't you take Krishna's instruction? Why do you go outside his instruction? That is the cause of all your troubles. You do not know the difference between the Sanatana Dharma, the real eternal religion, and your concocted Dharma. If you take some false religious system, then you suffer. But if you take to the real religious system, then you'll be happy. Of course, nowadays, India, like the rest of the world, has also given up the real religious system, Sanatana Dharma or Varnashrama Dharma. In India, they have accepted a hodgepodge thing called Hinduism. So there is trouble. Everywhere but in India especially, people should know that the real religion is this Vedic system. Vedic religion means Varnashrama Dharma. Krishna says, God says, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam, Bhagavad 4:13. For spiritual and material purposes, for spiritual and material progress, the four occupational divisions of society have been set up by me. So that is obligatory, just as the state law is obligatory. You cannot say, I don't accept this law. No, you have to accept it. If you want to have a happy life, you cannot become an outlaw. Then you'll not be happy. You'll be punished. Now God says, Maya Srishtam. This Varnasrama system is given by me. So how can we refuse to follow it? That means we are denying the real religion. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Bhagavatam 6.3.19. The real dharma, real religion, means the order given by God. The God says, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhakashaha. For the proper management of human society, I have created these four social divisions based on people's qualities and actions. So you have to accept it. Okay, Haribol, anyone can continue reading.
Krishna, this would be the precipitation for all people. Srila Prabhupada, for everyone at the head of social body, there must be an intelligent class of men who will give advice. Then there must be the administrative and protective class, the framing and mercantile class and the laboring class. This is all given in the Bhagavad Gita. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But when you fully surrender to Krishna, you can give up all the regulations pertaining to these four social classes. That is why Krishna says Sarvadharma Prityaja, Bhagavad Gita 1866. In the ultimate issue, by instruction is to give all up all religions formalists, including even Vedic formalists, and simply surrender to me. Brahm, Brahmana, Brahmana Dharma, Kshatriya Dharma, Hindu Dharma, this Dharma, that Dharma, give all these up and simply surrender to Krishna, because the ultimate aim of dharma is to come to Krishna. You directly come to me, then everything is all right, disciple. So many people concoct their own system and say this is this is the way to go, God, Srila Prabhupada. Then they them suffer. What can be done if you don't accept the laws of the state and you manufacture your own laws? Then you will suffer. The state says keep to the right, but if you make your own law, no, I will keep to the left. Then you will suffer. It's a fact. Krishna is personally advising Sarva Dharma Prityaja Mamam Ekam Sarva Sarvan Praja. Bhagavad Gita 1866. Give up all your concocted religions and surrender to me alone. Take his advice and be happy. Caste system cast out. Pusta Krishna. Next question, Srila Prabhupada. Will the fundamental value of the Vedic religion be in any way affected by the eradication of the caste system, toward which a concerned effort is now being made at all levels? Srila Prabhupada, the Vedic system of religions will have been describing the created by Krishna is not to be confused with the present day caste system, determination of social divisions by birth, but has to eradication of all social divisions. It cannot be done. This is still more foolishness, because Krishna himself says Chatur Varnyam Maya Sastam Gunakaranam Vibhagyasya. Bhagavad Gita 4.13. This system of four social divisions according to quality and work is ordained by me, ordained by me. But the difficulty is that this so-called caste system has on come in on account of the false notation notion that is ordered to be a Brahmana. One must be the son of Brahmana. That is the caste system. But Krishna don't does not say that. He says according to quality and work. He never says according to birth. So this so-called caste system in India is a false notation of Chatur Varnyam, the system of four divisions. The real system of Chaturvarnam means Guna, Karma, Vibhagyasya. Determination of four social divisions according to quality and work. One must be qualified. And how does one become qualified? That is also described for intense in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna describes the qualities of Brahmana as follows. Samo dam tapas tapa satyam kastil arjun evam evam cha jnanam vijnanam asyam. Bhagavad Gita 18.42. Peacefulness, self-control, austerities, purity, tolerance, honesty, uh, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. So people who want to become brahmanas must be educated to achieve these qualities. It is not even though simply to abolish the caste system, which is contaminated by the false conceptions of qualification by birthright. Uh, Certainly, this wrong caste system should be abolished. Also, educational centers should be open for teaching people how to become genuine brahmanas and kshatriyas gunakarma vibhag. Yes, according to their according to their qualities and work, people naturally belong to different social groupings, so you cannot avoid it. But because you have created a false caste system, that should be abolished, and the system recommended by Krishna, that should be adopted. In any event, you cannot avoid the natural occurrence of various various social divisions. Nature's caste system will remain. Take for example the grammatical quality of truthfulness all over the world. Wherever you go, you will find at least one person who is truthful. Does anyone says, "Oh, his father was truthful, therefore he is truthful"? This is nonsense. Krishna never says anything like this. The father may be Hiranyakashipu, a big demon, but his son can still be Prahlad, a great devotee of the Lord. It is not that one will inevitably become exactly like one's father. Of course, it may be. There is every possibility, but still it is not a fact that the son unavoidably becomes like the father. Our point is, whatever you go, you will find a first class man who is truthful. Now, whatever you find a truthful man, you can classify him as Brahmana and train him to serve the social body in that capacity. As a spiritual teacher and advisor that he is wanted. Why assume? Here he is the son of truthful man. Therefore, he is truthful, a Brahmana. That is misconception. You have to find truthful men all over the world and train him as train him as Brahmanas. That we are doing. If you follow these principles, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating, you are a Brahmana. Come on and receive further trainings. The fellow's fathers may be a meat eater or gambler or drunk, drunkard, but if he himself is truthful and agreeable to the Brahminical style life, then tell him, all right, come on, you are welcome. Then everything will be all right. You could not oblige, oblige the truthful class of men, even if you wanted to. You will find truthful men everywhere. You simply have to train him. So Krishna says, Chatur Varyam Maya Maya Sartam Guna Karma Vibhu Vibhavasya. Bhagavad Gita 4.13. According to their qualities and works, you take some men and put him in the Brahminical class, others in the Kshatriya class, still others in the Vaishya class, and the rest in the Shudra class. But you cannot oblige that system. That is that is a false attempt. Pusta Krishna. You will saying the natural system is to qualify a personal and train him for a particular duty according to these particular inner qualities and his particular propensity to act. So Prabhupada, yes, that qualification is wanted. that must be there. That that must be there. Pushta Krishna. And what will be the benefit of classifying and training people according to their own qualities and prosperity? Srila Prabhupada. The benefit will be that the whole social body will function harmoniously. The social body must have a brain and arms and a belly and legs to be complete. If there is no brain, no head, then what is use of his arms and legs and belly? It is all dead. So in human society, if there is not a class of learned, truthful, and honest men, men with all the Brahminical qualifications, then society is uh, ruined. That is that is why people are free reflected. Today, almost everyone is trying to be a Shudra, a labor. Go to the factory, that's all. Go to the factory and get money. And when the man gets some money, he immediately purchases wine and women. So if you try to make society classless, you will produce such men, useless men, distributing to the social body. You cannot make society classless. If you try to make it classless, naturally people will all be Shudras, fourth class men, and worse. Then there will be social shows.
Hare
Pushta.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, let's.
Hare
Someone
Krishna.
else can also
Thank you
read.
so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for reading. Because today
Hare,
it's amazing to
thank you,
see we
Prabhu.
have 10 persons joined to the reading session. This is rare. So it's really nice to see.
Haribol.
Okay, who wants to read next? Let's read like one page after each other so everyone gets to read.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhu.
I am reading.
Okay, Haribo.
Who will continue? Aditya Prabhu continue. I will continue.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance. Shall I start, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So, Pushta Krishna, but can all people take an equal interest in religion despite their belonging to different social classifications? Srila Prabhupada. Yes, this I have already explained that any civilized human being, he has got some religion. Now, the basic principles of religion are the statements made by God. So, here in the Vedic system is what God says. If you take to this system, then the social body will be perfect, not only for Hindus, but also for Christians or Mohammedans, for everyone. And that is being practically realized in the Krishna consciousness movement. We have got devotees from all groups of human society, and they're taking to this Vedic system. It is practical, there is no difficulty. So Hindus, Muslims, Christians, everyone should take to this Krishna religion and become Krishnaites, Krishnians. The Greek word Christo comes from Sanskrit with Krishna. In fact, another spelling of Krishna is Krishta. So actually, if we take the root meaning Christian means Christian or Christian. So that is a controversial point, but everyone can take to Krishna, then everything will be settled up. Should I continue, Prabhu? Shall I continue?
Yes, Prabhu. If you want, you can continue.
Okay, all right. So Pushta Krishna. Okay, sorry, before that. Eternal truth versus everyday realities. Pushta Krishna. Would you like to hear another question? Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Pushta Krishna. It is said that whereas the Srutis, the four original Vedas, the Upanishads, and the Vedanta Sutra, embody eternal truths, the Smritis, the Puranas, the Mahabharatas, the Ramayana, and the corollary Vedic literature embody the rules of conduct and thus need to be revised according to the dictates of the changing times. Will such a view be acceptable to all sections of society? And if so, how can the new Smritis come into being? And who will give them sanction and sanctity? Srila Prabhupada. The Smritis are given by the Lord and his representatives. They come from spiritual authorities such as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Shastra or the scriptures also gives this authority. For instance, for this age, Kali Yuga, the Lord has prescribed a special means of God realization, chanting of the holy name. Smriti, such as the Naradiya Purana, says the same thing. That in this age of Kali Yuga, the only possible means of God realization is chanting the Lord's name. In the Bhagavata Purana, also Sukadeva Goswami directs Kale dosha nide rajan, ashtihe eko mahan guna, kirtanad eva krishnasya, mukta sangha param vraje. Although in this age there are so many faults, it is truly an ocean of faults. Still, there is one very great advantage. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one becomes fully purified and is liberated from all material miseries. So, this Smriti injunction we should take up, and actually, we see all over the world how it is purifying all sections of people. Take to this chanting of Hare Krishna, then Suti Smriti, everything will be fulfilled. This is the easiest method. Kirtananda Eva Krishna Mukta Sangam Param Vrajet. Chant the Lord's holy name and you will be liberated. Pushta Krishna. So the Srutis are eternally relevant and constant. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, everything is based on the Srutis, as the Vedanta Sutra says. Anavritis Sabdat, simply by chanting the Lord's names and instructions, his sound vibrations, one becomes spiritually realized. Shabda Brahman means spiritual sound vibration, and as the Vedanta Sutra instructs us, by chanting the spiritual sound vibration, the instruction, the holy name of the Lord, one can become liberated.
Very well. Thank you so
Pushta
much,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Also,
Okay,
okay, all right.
let's change for next page. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, who's next?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Reading, I am reading.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Pushta Krishna. Also, the Shrutis are directly based on the original Shrutis. Srila Prabhupada. Yes. For instance, Bhagavad Gita is considered Shruti, and Bhagavad Gita also says, Satatam Kirtantamam Jatantascha Dridhavrata. Bhagavad Gita 9.14. Fully endeavoring with determination. The great souls are always chanting my glories. And as the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is also considered Sriti, explains Shruti Sriti Puranadi Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 12101. The great devotees heed both the Shrutis and the Sritis. Another Sriti, Vihad Narodiya Puran, enjoins Harer Nam, Harer Nam Eva Kevalam. In this age of quarrel, the only way to realize the Lord is to chant His holy name. Chant His holy name, chant His holy name. So, because he was in the role of a great devotee, Lord Chaitanya followed this injunction of Shruti and Sriti. Krishna Varnam Tisa Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parsadam. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Krishnam Varnayati. Lord Chaitanya is always chanting Hare Krishna. These examples are evidence that the Sritis are directly based on the Shrutis. So, introduce this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, everyone will be purified. Pushta Krishna. Is Sriti more than just rules of conduct? Srila Prabhupada. Yes, here is what Sriti means. The four original Vedas are considered Shruti, but simply by hearing them, one cannot understand fully. Therefore, the Sritis have explained further. Purayati iti Purana. By hearing the Puranas and other Sriti, one makes his understanding complete. The Vedic mantras are not always understood. For instance, the Vedanta, which is Shruti, begins with the mantra Janmadisya Jata. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1. The Supreme is that being from whom everything has emanated. This is very abbreviated, but the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Sriti, explains Janma Disya Jato Navayat Itakutas Chakteso Abhijana Swarat. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1. The Supreme Being from whom everything has emanated is directly and indirectly cognizant of everything and is fully independent. In this way, the Sriti explains the Shruti. So whether you take Shruti or Sriti, the subject matter is the same. Both Shruti and Sriti are spiritual evidence. We cannot do without either of them. As Srila Rupa Goswami says in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.101 Shruti Smriti Puranadi পঞ্চরাত্র বিধি কিনা ঐকান্তিকী হরের ভক্তির উৎপাত ব্যবহার কল্পতে Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.101 You cannot become purified or actually God conscious without reference to both Shruti and Smriti. So as we push on this Krishna consciousness movement, it is not whimsical, it is based on Shruti, Smriti and Pancharatri ki vidhi. The principle of Shruti, Smriti and the Narad Pancharatra. Therefore, it is becoming effective. Pusta Krishna. Nevertheless, Srila Prabhupada, the question asks, do the Shrutis need to be revised according to the changing times? Srila Prabhupada, they cannot be changed. Pusta Krishna. The Shrutis cannot be changed. Srila Prabhupada, nothing can be changed. But according to the time, you have to apply the principles properly. For instance, in Kali Yuga, the Shruti ordered is Kirtanat Evo Krishnasya Mukto Sangam Param Brajet. To obtain spiritual liberation, one must chant the holy name of the Lord Hare Krishna. So you have to do this. For instance, a doctor may order in the morning take this medicine, in the evening take that medicine. It is not a change of the doctor's orders. It is simply that according to the time, the doctor's order call for a particular the doc. It is simply that according to the time, the doctor's orders call for a particular medicine, but the particular medicine is recommended by the doctor, not by your whims. Shruti and Smriti cannot be changed, but they may recommend a particular process at a particular time. So there must be adherence to both Shruti and Smriti to scriptural authority. You cannot modify. Pusta Krishna. There is no question then of as the magazine puts it, new Smriti. Srila Prabhupada, no new Smriti. They may take it as new city, but city is city. It is not new. In any spiritual statement, you have to give reference to Shruti and Smriti. Otherwise, it is not valid. There must be Veda Parampara, Sabda Parampara, evidence from the Vedas and from the explanatory Vedic literature. Otherwise, there is no evidence. Your statement is not valid. You cannot change the original Shruti City, but you have to take their particular recommendation for the particular time, just as Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did when he asked his followers to heed the injunction of Brihad Naradiya Puran 3.8.1-6. Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Iha Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva Gatir Annata. Adi 17.21. Chant the holy name, chant the holy name, chant the holy name of Krishna in the present age of quarrel and anxiety. There is no other way to attain God realization. No other way, no other way. So Shruti Smriti Pramana, citing evidence from the Vedas and the corollary literature is the only method for making a spiritual statement. You have to take it. Pusta Krishna, can anyone change Srila Prabhupada? No. Pusta Krishna, the rules of conduct as described in the Sritis, nobody can change them, but Srila Prabhupada, nobody can change them. But these particular rules and regulations in Shruti Sriti are for particular times, particular circumstances. So we have to take these rules and regulations. You cannot change them. Pusta Krishna. And who will sanction a particular application for a particular time and place? Srila Prabhupada. Yes, this was done by Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya. When he appeared 500 years ago, he sanctioned the application of Shruti Sriti because he is a genuine authority. He is a genuine Acharya. And we are following in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is not whimsical. You have to follow the authority in all circumstances. Pusta Krishna. Is this Vedic religion, this Sanatana Dharma, so broad that everyone is included? Yes, Sanatan means eternal. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Na honnate honno mane sharire. Bhagavad Gita 2.20. The living entity which is the body is not destroyed when the body is destroyed because he is eternal. So that eternality belongs to everyone. Not that the Hindus, after giving up this body, exist and the Muslim or Christian do not exist. Everyone exists eternally. So Sanatana Dharma is not meant for everyone. Pusta Krishna.
Haribo, thank you so much, Prabhu. Who
Thank
wants
you
to
so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
explain?
Hare Krishna.
Go.
Pushpa Krishna. Then is there anyone actually outside of Sanatana Dharma? Srila Prabhupada. Nobody is actually outside. Everyone is an eternal spirit soul, and therefore everyone is meant for the eternal religion, Sanatana Dharma. You may think that you are not an eternal spirit soul. That is simply illusion. There are so many rascals who think that with the death of the body, everything is finished. They may think so, but that is not a fact. Similarly, you may think, I am not a Sanatana Dharmi, a follower of Sanatana Dharma. I am a Christian. But actually, you are a Sanatana Dharmi. Of course, if you wish to think otherwise, you can. Who can check it? Hari Shauri. So, whether one can be accepted as following Sanatana Dharma depends on how one acts. Can you scroll down? Prabhupada. Yes, and with the rules and regulations of Sanatana Dharma. That is his business. That is all. The ultimate knowledge. Pushta Krishna. Srila Prabhupada. This is the next question. In the Bhakti, by noted savants. They do not know what Vedanta is. The first take advantage of it. The two words combined in the word Veda are Veda and Anta. Veda means knowledge and Anta means goal or end. So Vedanta means the end of all knowledge or Veda. Now in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vedesta sarver aham eva Veda. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15.15. Where are the Vedas? I am to be known. So the whole Vedanta Sutra is a description of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The first statement in the Vedanta Sutra is Adado Brahma Jnasa. Now, having attained a human birth, one should inquire into Brahman, the absolute truth. In a nutshell, Brahman is then described. Janmadhyata. Brahman is the origin of everything. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aham Sarvasya Prabha. I am the origin of everything. So again, the Vedanta Sutra actually describes Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, because Srila Vyasadeva knew that in this Kali Yuga, people would not be able to study Vedanta Sutra nicely on account of lack of education, he personally wrote a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. That commentary is Srimad Bhagavatam, Vashyam Brahma. Bhashya Brahma Sutranam, the Srimad Vedanta Sutra, written by the author of the Vedanta Sutra himself. The Vedanta Sutra was written by Vyasadeva, and under the instruction of Narada, his spiritual master, Vyasadeva wrote a commentary on it. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the same aphorism as the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadi Asya Yada, and continues, Anvayat Idaradas Shartesh Abhijna Swarat. So, Vedanta Sutra is explained by the author without understanding Vedanta Sutra and without reading the natural commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam, are posing themselves as Vedantas. Because people are not educated, they are accepting these rascals as Vedantis. Really, the Mayavadi Vedantis, they are bluffers. They are not Vedantis. They do not know anything of Vedanta Sutra. That is the difficulty. Actually, what is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, that is real Vedanta. So, if we take Srimad Bhagavatam as the real explanation of Vedanta Sutra, then we will understand Vedanta, the end of knowledge. And if we take shelter of the Mayavadi Vedantas, the bluffers, then we cannot understand Vedanta. People do not know anything, and as a result, they can be bluffed and cheated by anyone. Therefore, now we should learn from this Krishna conscious movement what Vedanta is and what the explanation of Vedanta Sutra is. Then they will be benefited if we accept Srimad Bhagavatam as the real commentary on Vedanta. Vedanta Sutra, then we'll find that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Kale Bhusha Nide Rajan Astihi Ego Mahan Guna. In this Kali Yuga, which is an ocean of faults, there is one benediction, one opportunity. What is that? Kirtanam Eva Krishnasya Muktasanga Param Je. Can become by chanting Hare Krishna. This liberation by chanting Hare Krishna is happening, but people want to be misguided, and there are so many bluffers to misguide them. What can be done? Vyasadeva has already given the perfect explanation of Vedanta Sutra, the Srimad Bhagavatam. So let people read the Srimad Bhagavatam, then they will understand what Vedanta is.
All right. Then are the conclusions of the Vedanta Sutra and the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam one and the same. Bhakti. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, find this verse. Kamasya nendriya pritir. Pushta Krishna. Kamasya nendriya pritir. Lapo jiveta yavata. Jivasya tattva nartoyasceha karmapi. Life's desires should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation, since a human being is meant for inquiry about the about truth. Okay, nothing else should be the goal of. Nothing else should be the goal of one's works. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.10. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam proceeds directly from the Vedanta Sutra. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now is the time to inquire about the absolute truth. Here the very same thing is explained. Don't be entrapped with these temporary bodily necessities of life, sense gratification. You must inquire about the absolute truth. The next verse of Srimad Bhagavatam explains, Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam yakyanam advayam. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.11. Those who know the absolute truth describe him in this way. Tattva means truth. The truth is explained by the tattva vid, one who knows the truth. How Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti Shabdyate. The absolute truth is explained as Brahman, the all-pervading spiritual effulgence, as Paramatma, the localized supersoul, or as Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. Understanding this is what Vedanta Sutra means when it says Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now one should learn about the absolute truth, what Brahman is, what Paramatma is, what Bhagavan is. In this way, one should make advancement in his spiritual consciousness. The Mayavadi Vedantists follow the impersonal commentary of Shankaracharya, Sariraka. But there are other commentaries on the Vedanta Sutra. Besides the Srimad Bhagavatam, the natural commentary by the author of Vedanta Sutra himself, there are Vedanta Bhashyas written by Vaishnava Acharyas such as Ramanujarya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, and Baladeva Vidyabhusana. Unfortunately, the Mayavadi Vedantists do not care to read these Vaishnava Vedanta Bhashyas. They simply read Shariraka Bhashya and call themselves Vedantists. Why do Buddha Krishna? Why do the Mayavadi Vedantists read only one commentary? What is the reason for that? Srila Prabhupada. The reason is that they want to read something that will confirm their illusion that they are God. The Mayavadi Vedantists cheat. Suppose I present some proposition. If it is a misconception, generally there are others also who can say something to clarify this misconception. For instance, in a court of law, there are two lawyers. One lawyer is speaking on one point of the law, the other lawyer is speaking on another point of the law. But if the judge listens to one side only, then how will he make a proper judgment? Similarly, the Vedantists are simply reading the Shariraka Bhashya. They are not reading other Bhashyas such as the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the natural commentary, and they are cheating people, that's all. Now the Vedanta Sutra says, Janmad Yasya Yataha, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1. The absolute truth is that from which everything emanates, but this needs some explanation. One may ask, is that absolute truth personal or impersonal? Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna clearly says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. Bhagavad Gita 10.8. I am the origin of everything, everything comes from me. So why don't you Mayavadi Vedantists take it? Why do you simply remain stuck at the point that the absolute truth is that from which everything emanates? When Krishna, the absolute truth, comes before you and says, I am the origin of everything, everything comes from me, why don't you accept Krishna as the absolute truth? Why do you take the impersonalist view only that the absolute truth has no form? Here is the absolute truth speaking, a person, why don't you take it? Does anyone else want to continue, or do I continue?
You can continue, Prabhu. Haribol.
Yeah, I'll read. Yes, of course. If people want to be cheated, then who can stop them? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says, Vedanta Krit Eva Chaham. I'm the compiler of Vedanta. Why do these rascals not consider who compiled Vedanta? Vyasadeva is the incarnation of Krishna. He compiled Vedanta. Why do these rascals not consider the original Vedanta is Krishna? They approach a Mayavadi instead. So how will they understand Vedanta? Suppose I have written a book. If you cannot understand something in it, then you should come directly to me for an explanation. That is sensible. Why go to a rascal who has nothing to do with my book? Similarly, some rascal Mayavadi may claim I am a Vedantist, but why should I go to a rascal instead of the real compiler of the Vedanta Sutra? Those who approach the Mayavadi Vedantists for knowledge are also rascals. They are willingly being cheated. Let the Mayavadi Vedantists and their followers accept the conclusions of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Then they will understand Vedanta Sutra. They'll be real Vedantists. Otherwise, they will remain cheaters. So if you go to a cheater, you'll be cheated, and that is your business. Pushta Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, are you saying that the Mayavadis have no knowledge at all? Srila Prabhupada. Once again, Vedanta means the ultimate knowledge. And what is that knowledge? Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. After many births, one who is actually knowledge at last surrenders unto me. So unless one surrenders to Krishna, there is no jnana, no knowledge. Therefore, the Mayavadi Vedantists are all nonsense. They have no knowledge at all. The subject matter of ultimate knowledge, Vedanta, is Krishna, God. So if one does not know who God is, who Krishna is, and if one does not surrender to him, then where is the question of knowledge? But if a rascal claims that I am a man of knowledge, what can be done? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna goes on to explain, Vasudeva sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabhaha. Bhagavad Gita 7.19. When one understands that Vasudeva, Krishna is everything, then that is knowledge. But such a Mahatma is very rare. Before coming to this understanding, one has no knowledge. His so-called understanding is simply misunderstanding. Brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan it is shabdyate. One may begin with understanding impersonal Brahman by the speculative method. Then in the secondary stage, one can understand the Paramatma, the Lord's localized aspect, and the final stage is to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Veda is sarvair aham eva vedyam. Bhagavad Gita 15.15. By all the Vedas, Krishna is to be known. That is the ultimate knowledge. But if you do not understand Krishna, then where is your knowledge? Halfway knowledge is not knowledge. It must be complete knowledge. That complete knowledge is possible as it is said in the Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam janmanam ante. Bhagavad Gita 7.19. After many births, those who are striving to acquire knowledge, after many births, when actually by the grace of God, by the grace of a devotee, they come to knowledge, then such persons agree, oh Vasudeva sarvam iti. Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Krishna is everything. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. That Mahatma, that great soul, is very rarely to be found. Durlabha means very rarely found, but the word used is Sudurlabha, very rarely to be found. So you cannot easily find such a Mahatma who clearly understands Krishna. All right, Haribol, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Prabhu, for reading. Okay, now let's go to 6 Astakam prayers. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagninirvapanam shreyah kairavachandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvadma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Nam akari pahutani cha sarva shakti statrarpitani ya mita smaranena kala etat shri tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durtaivam itrisham yajanin nanuraga.
निनाद अपि सुनीचेन तरोर अपि सहिष्णुना अमानेन मानवेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि
नजनं सुन्दरीं कवितं वाजदीश कामये मम जन्ममि जन्मेश्वरी भगवद्भक्तिर् हैतुकी
Ainandatanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam buddho kripa tava pada pankaja stitaduli sadrisam vichintaya.
नयनं जलाधश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदा हृदया गिरा पुलकेर्निजितं बभूव कदा तव नाम गृहणे भविष्यति
युगायितं निमेषेन चक्षु
Yes, bro.
युगायतं निमेषेन चक्षुषः परिवर्ष्यतं शून्यतिं जगत् सर्वं गोविन्दं वर्णे महे
आश्लिष्य वा पादरतं पुनष्टु माम् अदर्शनात् मर्महतं करोतु वा यदा तदा वा विधातु पटो मत्प्राणनादस्य स एव नापरः प्रभुशिक्षाष्टकश्लोके ययि पडे सुने कृष्ण प्रेम भक्ति तारावधि दिने दिने.
Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Oh my Lord,
Oh my Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and those you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting this name. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, and somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus.
Oh my Lord, when will
Oh
my
my
eyes
Lord,
prayer raised with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
oh Govinda, feeling your separations, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna
I
is my... Yes, Prabhu, you can continue. Haribol.
no, Prabhu, you continue.
Okay. I
You
know no
continue, Prabhu.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Hare Krishna, Sri Siksastakam ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai,
Jai,
Sudadva ki
Jai,
jai, Sri Krishna
Jai,
Chaitanya
Jai,
Mahaprabhu ki jai, Nityananda
Jai,
Prabhu ki jai,
Jai,
Bhakti
Jai,
Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai
Jai,
Gaur Premanand,
Jai.
Hari
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 Bol,
Bol.
I
Hari
know.
Bol.